I'm really glad to be here, and this is really, Black students and social media is really a huge topic for investigation. There really isn't a whole lot of research on it yet. There's a lot of research on college students in general, but what Black students, male and female, are doing online is something that's really ripe for investigation. With my PowerPoint, I thought I would start with some background. Some of you may know this information, and if you do, you can just store it in the back of your head, and if you don't, it's just something that you can use elsewhere. So this is just a diagram or an infographic about how long it took to reach 50 million users for different media. Radio took 38 years, TV 13 years, internet 4 years, the iPod 3 years, and social media, Facebook, reached 200 million users in under a year. That is amazing, and that just shows you the trajectory that we're on with social media. So neo-millennial learning styles. So college students have gadgets. I think this semester I saw more gadgets than I've ever seen before. iPads, laptops, Mac laptops, cell phones, e-readers. One student came to my class with her Mac laptop, her Kindle, her iPod, and it was in a lab with computers already, so she just came to class with all of that. So they're really wired, these students that we have now. And the trends in education, 1 million students are participating in some form of online learning already. 27 states offer virtual schools that allow students to take a class online. 24 states and DC offer students an opportunity to attend a virtual school full time. Some of these students are showing up in our classes already. I had at least one student who had taken a course at a virtual school. As students become more connected, they're becoming more untethered. So they're connected, but they're connected via wireless. So they have all their friends, they're tweeting, they're texting, they're talking to people over the cell phone. So they're not necessarily in the same room with their friends all the time, but they're always connected to their friends, their families, and their community. The Web 2.0 paradigm of immersive environments and dynamic information could upend traditional pedagogies and even the way students learn. So we're going to see some of this in the next few years. And that can mean that we might have to play a little catch up. So new methods of interacting with information will become more ubiquitous. Students are growing up with different expectations and preferences for learning, and we can see that already. I think in our department, we had a session on how students learn, and we were as a department, as a school, very intrigued about this and concerned about how it was going to impact what we do. Oops. There's less emphasis on sage on the stage, you know, that's kind of like the traditional lecture, and more focusing on the single best source. So our students are paying attention to us in the classroom, but they're also venturing out elsewhere to get information. And sometimes you have to compete with their acquiring information that hasn't been vetted online, but they think they know stuff because they know how to Google. So that's your competition now in the classroom a lot of times. And there's more focus on active learning that comes from synthesizing information from multiple types of media. So they're looking stuff up in YouTube, they're looking stuff up in Google, they're using all kinds of media to find out information. They may not know how to do this. Some of our role is going to be showing them how to best do that. Social media trends. 83% of Americans have mobile phones, 42% have smartphones. 2.5 million Android devices are activated daily. I did my presentation on a Mac, so there's some transitional things going on here. Foursquare, which is a location application, surpassed 10 million users. Twitter has 2 million, 1 billion tweets a day. Facebook has 8 million active users. I think this is old. I think it's more like 845 million. And Google passed 43 million users. I think this is as of this past summer. And Google Search passed 1 billion users. So this is where, so you know people are still searching for information. You can see that. So where we are now, the internet population more closely resembles the racial composition of the United States. The proportion of internet users who are Black or Latino has nearly doubled to from 11 to 21%. So that digital divide that everybody was talking about is changing, it's evolving, it's moving into something else. Blacks and Latinos are getting on the internet at a greater rate, at a faster rate than whites are right now. African Americans have made substantial ground when it comes to home broadband adoption, but at the same time, we're still less likely to go online than whites are. So it's kind of contradictory. Yeah. Because we have access to it, but the thing is that we're doing something else when we go online. Laptop ownership by African Americans rose dramatically over the last year from 34% in 2009 to 51% now. That's pretty amazing. And so that's one way that we're going online. We're not just sitting at home. We have the mobile, we have the laptop, we're moving around. They continue to trail whites in broadband use at home, also quite less likely to own a desktop computer because we got the laptops, we have the cell phone.